Oh my gosh. Wow. That is so flavorful. Oh my, let me take another bite. I'm going to do them like this all the time. Oh, look at that leg. Look at that leg. I'm going to bite into that. Oh my gosh. It's so good. Mr. Flavorsmith here, and today we're going to do a smoked turkey. We are going to do what's called a spatchcock. We're going to open this turkey up, that way we can flatten it out. The spatchcock allows us to hopefully get a little bit quicker cooking time and a little bit better flavor profile of that smoke and that penetration on both sides, the outside and the inside of the bird. I myself have never done this style before, so it's going to be new to me as well. So hopefully it works out good and you enjoy the process. I've had it in a brine for actually 48 hours. I probably went too long, but hey, I figured why not? Let's give it a shot. The brine I used was a Kinder's brine kit that really has a lot of flavor to it. The wet brining process helps it keep its moisture by introducing the salt into the tissue fiber, which allows the moisture of the brine to penetrate within the tissue of the turkey. The result in the end is a really moist turkey. I love to wet brine all of my poultry for this reason. And Kinder's had a really cool looking kit that you put into the bag, really awesome seasonings. It was very easy to follow instructions. I highly recommend it. It smells delicious. And we are going to flavor stack this as always. So we are going to inject it with some of this Creole style butter. It's super popular. I've used it a bunch and it just works great. No need to make up your own injection. This stuff just really works good. I love it. But before we get to that, we need to convert this 22-inch Weber kettle over to the proper conversion heat system that we are going to be using. Let's get going on that now. First things first, let's take the lid off. Remove our grill grate. We're going to put in our Kamado conversion basket. I just recently got this and I've used it a bunch, and it is amazing for holding low, steady temperatures. If you want to hit that 250 degrees Fahrenheit or 225 degrees Fahrenheit and you want the ability to hold it there for long periods of time, using a ceramic Kamado conversion inside the bowl with a heat deflecting plate on top is amazing and really allows you to accomplish that. We're going to be using lump coal, and I'll get to that in a second, but I like to use this. This is a very small vortex style heat basket that you would usually use like this and put your coals in there. But I actually use it for this purpose, so I can actually pour my lump coal around here. I can do a slow and low burn, light it on this side and have it go clockwise around, slowly burning. It's really amazing. This system really works well. And then on top, here is your stone heat deflecting plate. And this works really awesome. From there, we are going to put this on here so we don't get all of our juices everywhere from our bird. And then we're going to stick our grill right over the top, and our bird's going to lay out right here flat, spatchcocked right on the grill. And then we'll put our lid back on and control our temperature right through the top here, because I'm going to open up that bottom vent 100%. And we're probably going to have this top vent most of the time sitting at about a quarter of the way open for maybe the first hour or so. And then we'll see where that internal temperature of the bird is at. We might raise it all the way up. I'm expecting this to take about maybe 2.5, 3 hours. At first, I want to have the temperature for the first hour and a half or something like that around 250 degrees, so we get a really good smoke flavor penetrating that bird. And then from there, I want to raise the temperature up to probably around 300, maybe 325 degrees Fahrenheit, so we can crisp that skin on that chicken as best as possible. Now you know the setup. Let's get the coals going and get it lit. And like I said, we are going to be using Fogo Premium Lump Charcoal. I am new to Fogo, but it is a really great product. I've only used it a couple of times and I've been really impressed with it. It usually has larger chunks of wood in there mixed in with a bunch of smaller ones too, but it does have a good selection of both in there. And this one I picked up at my trusty Wildemar Ace Hardware for a really, really good price. I believe this bag was only $19, much cheaper than a lot of the other stuff out there. So for this, we should just be perfect. We are going to put chunks of cherry wood over the top of it. It's going to give us a lighter smoke profile flavor to it over, say, hickory, which still has a light one, but definitely lighter than, say, some of your hardwoods like oak or something like that. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it right about here, and I'm just going to have it traveled around right about here. So maybe 180 degrees halfway around. That should give us at least 4 hours of cook. Now we just go through and kind of try to keep the mass as the same as possible. That way our burn temperature hopefully stays around the same. Let's get our wood chunks on there now. All right, here's our cherry wood chunks. I like to start it off like pretty good. Let's get our tumbleweed in there right now. And for this, I just use Royal Oak tumbleweeds. I've been using them for a long time. They work great, but any tumbleweed should work perfectly for you. And all you really need is just one. Try and stick it under the beginning of your snake and get your coals all packed up around it. Try and get some wood in there. That way you start getting that wood flavor right away. Take note that with this Kamado system, there is this ledge right here, and your heat deflecting plate is going to sit on that ledge, so you can't have any of this material get above that ledge, that little shelf. So you might need to move some stuff around. I don't even think we're going to need to burn this much over here. We'll stick it in there just because. All right, let's light it up. And to light it up, I like to use a torch. The torch allows me to get a little bit of heat on these coals right now, and then it'll also light up that tumbleweed that's inside there. That's good enough. Our tumbleweed is taken off. Now I'm just going to give it a minute or two for it to just really heat up, and then we're going to start assembling everything back together. First things first, everything's getting hot. Put our gloves on. Here's our stone heat deflecting plate. Doesn't need to be perfect. So if you have a high side, that's okay. Next is our drippings catch pan right there. I'm hoping that's going to catch the majority of our drippings. And then our cooking grate. Going to sit right there. Hopefully our turkey just lays out nice and perfectly just like that. It's a small turkey, so it should get close anyway. Put our lid back on. And I just want to point out, I actually go through and I put a gasket on here. It just helps me keep more consistent low temperatures. It doesn't fit perfect once you put that gasket on there, but that's okay. And off the top right here, we're just going to keep it open just a little bit longer. We are fully opened on the bottom. I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. I have 3 different marks down here. I've got a little dot right here. That's 1/4 of the way open. This little upside down T is 1/2 way open. This little triangle with a line going up from it, that's fully open, and that's where it's at right now. We're going to keep this fully open today. We are just going to adjust our temperatures through our top vent. All right, now it's time to spatchcock that turkey, and what we're going to do is we are going to flip this bird upside down to show us the bottom side of the bird. We're going to cut along both sides of the spine with some poultry shears. We are going to pull that spine out. We are then going to flip that bird breast side up. We are going to put it on a board where we are going to apply force to the breastbone, and we are going to pump it once, breaking that breastbone open to allow it to lay down flatter. wants the neck and the gizzards? I'll take that. This is for the Grinch. We're going to smoke this nasty looking thing too. All right, there's our krill butter injection. Let's get to it. I'm going to stick our injector that's included in there. We're going to fill her up. Woo, that stuff looks tasty. We're going to go inside and we're just going to stick it everywhere we can. And I don't think you can really overdo it. But hey, some might disagree with me. If you do, please put it in the comments below. We're going in the thigh first. We're going to try and go a little deep. And this is going to get messy. Everything's just going to start puffing up. It's going to be dripping everywhere. Try and get in as kind of like deep as you can. And I might just do it just this in this in these thighs. I don't think I need a whole lot in there. I'm sorry, in these drums. All right. Then we'll go into the thigh area a little bit. During the holiday season, this injection is often very hard to find because it is that popular. We'll just go in as many places as we can and just start sticking this. All right, we don't really have to worry about the wings so much. That's not an area of concern for me. We'll go back in here, put a little bit there. Put a little bit there. That's pretty good for the dark meat. Now let's start injecting these breasts. And just try to find anywhere you can to do this. And if you want, do it symmetrical. Do one side, then do the other side. And you just see it balloon up. There it is, oozing out. Oh yeah. This is going to be so messy. But I know it's going to be worth it, and it's going to be really delicious. And don't be concerned if you're like, oh my God, I'm losing all of this injection. Trust me, it is doing its job. It will be okay. Enough will get in the bird to really pack in flavor. I feel like a plastic surgeon from Beverly Hills. All right, that's good enough. All right, now what we're going to do is we're just going to flip it over and we're going to start applying the rub. On the bottom side first because we're going to end with the top side, the pretty side. But look at that bird so far. It is pretty. So we'll flap the wings out. And this is where things start to get messy. Of course, it has to be another windy day out here for me. And here we go. We're putting on Meat Church Barbecue Rub, the Holy Gospel. I have never used this before, but what I was after was something that had a lot of color to it as well. I wanted this to be a pretty red looking bird, something really that catches your eye and hopefully your taste buds. And I'm going heavy with this. You know, some might say too much salt. Those people are not in my house. So here it is. Just rub it down. Get what you can in there. Let's do the flip. Now let's do the pretty side. Okay. We're going to get everywhere we can. Now, I'm not lifting up the skin and going underneath the bird. And the reason why I'm not doing that on this one is we injected it. And it's going to get a ton of flavor from that injection. And it's been wet brine for 48 hours. I mean, this turkey's got a lot going on with it right now. Just want to pack in as much flavor as we can on this bird. What's your favorite rub? to put on smoked turkey? Leave it in the comments below. Please share with everybody else. I want to know what you like. Meat Church Holy Gospel, or what's your go-to? Okay, I have to say that looks like that's enough. Let's get our little neck here for the Grinch. Photo time. All right, now we're going to take our Typhur dual gold sync wireless heat thermometer system. We're going to turn it on. This is going to help us with our cook. It's got 2 probes. So we're going to put one probe in deep in the breast on one side, and we're going to put the other probe in a piece of the dark meat just for giggles. So right now it's saying unplug to start. So here we go. And I'll show you how to set this. 1 will be into the breast meat and 2 will be into a thigh if I can get that in there. So I'm just wanting to get into the thickest part I can, which is probably right about there. It's gonna take me in there, okay? On this side, we'll see if I can do this. I don't even know if this will work really good. Why not? There's 2, 1 and 2. Okay, now it's time to throw this bird on the grill. All right. There's the Grinch's neck. We're gonna move that just to the side real quick. Here we go. That didn't look too bad. Let's just move her in place a little bit. She's gonna shrink up a little bit as time goes on. There's the Grinch's neck. All right, let's cover it up. So our snake is right here right now. So we're gonna put this vent on the opposite side of the snake. And we are gonna put it right at about there. This should get us around 250, but we'll see with our heat probes what that's gonna be. I'm not sure how good you can see that, but it says probe number 1, which is in the breast, is at 57 degrees. Let's set up cook. So right there, hit this, manual setup. We wanna pull this. When it hits about 130, I'm gonna crank up the heat, okay? So we're gonna try and keep the heat low to 130. So now we're gonna adjust probe number 2, and it's set for 130. Enter, good to go. It's now telling us our ambient, it's raising right now. Our ambient's at like 102, 105. It's just jumping back and forth. So we'll let that just kind of heat up and adjust properly. It should jump up real quick here. All right, so we just closed it up. It's only been a couple of minutes. We're already sitting at an ambient temperature of 257 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And it's telling us that it's gonna take about 28 minutes at that temperature to get to our targeted 130 degrees internal temperature on our turkey breast. I think because it's only been on a few minutes and 30 minutes into it and then bump the temperature up, I don't wanna do that. So I'm thinking we're gonna let it run for a full hour, try and keep that ambient temperature as low as possible. I'm gonna try and dial it back a little bit, maybe do a little bit of a sub 250 degrees Fahrenheit for an hour's time. And then we're going to see kind of where things are at that point. I'm going to check it at about the 45-minute point and see if it's starting to really dry up on the exterior. If it does start to dry up, I'm going to whip up a little buttery herb base that we can base the surface of that turkey with. That way it doesn't dry out too much. Yeah, it will kind of mess up our rub a little bit, but hopefully not too much. And I almost forgot. If you've gotten any value out of this already, please do me a humongous favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps me produce more valuable, flavorful content like this for you in the future. And hey, it's the holiday time, so happy kettle giving. All right, so we're an hour into it. Our probe number 1 sitting at an internal temperature of 99 degrees. Remember, that is the breast meat. And probe number 2, it hit its target at 130. Now it's at 131, and that is on the drumstick. So our ambient temperature is sitting right at about 230 degrees Fahrenheit. And it's kind of been bumping around from like 230 to like 248, but it's been on the lower side. So what I'm gonna do now, that top vent's opened at 1/4 of the way. I'm gonna open that up at the hour point. We're gonna bump it up to fully open. Let's do it. I'm not sure how good that's coming through, but we have a very low, clean, very, very clean smoke coming out of there right now. Like I said, sitting a little bit about like halfway. I'm just gonna open it up all the way now. Yeah, there we go. Let's just open it all the way. But hey, let's check it out. See what it looks like. Boom. Tell you what, that is one pretty bird. It's looking pretty good. An hour into it. I'm not disappointed. All right, let's close it back up. Let's come back in a half hour. All right, everybody, we are an hour and 50 minutes into it. We're sitting with an internal temperature at the breast at about 115 with an ambient temperature of about 284 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's open it up. I think it's going to be a little bit drier. I closed this back just a little bit, probably about 5 minutes ago, because we were hitting closer to that 300, and I didn't quite want that yet. I still have more time to do this, so I did close this top vent back just a little bit a few minutes ago. But anyway, let's open this up at an hour and 50 minutes and see where we're at. Oh, look at that. That is looking pretty good. All right. So what I did do is I did whip up this little basting thing I did. I'm just going to apply this on there. I'm going to try not to rub off like too much of the spice that I have on there, which actually it's staying on there pretty good. So that's good. And all I want to do is just hydrate this as kind of like as best as I can. It's butter that's in here. It's a little rosemary. I actually went through and ground up some dried rosemary. Then we have a little bit of garlic salt on here as well. We have a little bit of smoked paprika that's on here with just a little fresh ground cracked black pepper. And now we're just moistening this up. That way it's just not drying out too much. Yeah, that looks good. Look at that. That looks good. And we might have to do this again, maybe in about a half hour or so. But we'll see. I'm using Kerrygold butter just because I love Kerrygold butter. That Irish cream butter is just amazing. This little turkey neck, let's see how this goes. That bad boy looks a little dry for sure. Tell you what though, after it's basted like this, wow, this looks yummy. Woo-hoo-hoo. Look at that. Flavoricious. Photo time. All right, it's time to cover this turkey back up. Get it cooking again. Now that we've done a nice little flavorful baste on it, we're gonna keep this top vent just at halfway. All right, let's give it another half hour. All right, so we've just hit just over 2 hours and 20 minutes on this cook. We have an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit on our probe number 1, which is in the breast meat. An ambient temperature of 319 degrees. I went through and I opened up this top vent fully open again, just because it was sitting at that 300 degree Fahrenheit temperature, and I really wanted it to, I want to get this cook going here. So let's check it out, just pushing 2 hours and 30 minutes and see where it's at right now. Boom. Oh my goodness. That's looking pretty flavoricious. Let's check it out. Oh, look at that bird. Oh, that's got good color to it. Good color to it. Doesn't look like the skin's pulled back too much yet. Oh, that wing, that popped through. So that's just because we've increased that temperature and the skin pulls back once you do that. But man, that looks good. That looks really good right now. Yeah. Okay. We are going to baste it right now another time. I whipped up another batch of that stuff. So let's just lay it on again. Areas that might look a little dry. Which, to be honest, we don't really have any areas that look dry on this bird, which is really nice. You can see that how that skin's pulled back on these drumsticks. Wow. Tell you what, this thing sure does look good. That is for sure. I cannot wait to bite into this. All right, let's cover this pretty bird back up. Hope to have this done in the next 35 to 45 minutes. We'll keep our eye on it. All right, 3 hours and 30 minutes, and our Kettle Kamado giving turkey cook is done. Wow, that's crazy. Took longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. I had to bump that temperature up, like I said, and so we got into that 350 range for a while there. Usually what happens when you do that is it just kind of tightens up the skin and the skin starts pulling away from everything. So I expect that happened a lot here. I haven't seen it in a while, but that was a lot longer than I expected it to take. I'm running out of time here. We've got family photos later, so I don't have time for anything else. But it is done. We've hit the internal temperature of 163 degrees, and now we've surpassed that. So let's check it out and see how it looks. Whoa! Look at that. Yes, you can see the skin has pulled away in certain areas, but that looks like a very tasty turkey. Wow, that's so neat. I am really interested to see how opening this up like this spatchcocking, what it's going to do to the flavor. If it's going to give us a little more flavor on the inner part of the breast meat. But man, those drums, those look good. Oh, yeah. All right. Photo time. All right, I'm going to get my gloves on right now, and I use these white cotton gloves. And then I use these blue nitrite gloves over the top of them. The white cotton gloves help keep my hands safe from the heat, and the nitrite gloves just keep them clean. Let's pull this beautiful Kettle Kamado giving turkey off. You know, first, let's pull these out. Okay, we're gonna pull our probes out. And I wanna, oh, the juices are just flowing out of this bird right now. Ooh, that's what the underside looks like. Look at that. Oh, the juices are just pouring off of there. There's our Grinch neck. And before, we're gonna let that bird just sit for a couple minutes. And I figure we might as well check out and see where our snake burn is at. I figured you guys might be interested. Let's pull the grill off. Let's see if I can do this without making a huge mess, because that would be nice. This pan seemed to do its job pretty good. Okay, let's see where our burn's at. It's gonna be hot. We're gonna do that quick. Oh, look at that. All right, so we got right there to the end. But that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, we got right there to the very, very end. That makes sense to me. I tell you what, this Fogo lump coal worked really good again for me. I'm very happy with it. So I'm going to keep using it. And the price was right. Thank you, Wildemar Ace Hardware, for having that available for me to purchase. Wow. Look at that bird. Very interesting spatchcocking it this way. 3.5 hour smoke with cherry wood. That's pretty tasty looking bird right there. It's sat for a few minutes now. Let's bite into it. All right, let's check this out. Well, obviously this just wants to kind of come off of there already. There's drumstick. Right here. Oh, look at all that juice just pouring on out. Let's see if I can cut a big old, ooh, that's one hot bird. Look at All that juice. Wow. Oh, look at that. This thing is just, it's got juice everywhere. Let's bite in. Bite into this. Oh, my goodness. Oh my gosh. Wow. That is so flavorful. Oh my, let me take another bite. Man, that is packed so full of flavor. It is insane. Wow. I'm going to do them like this all the time. That breast meat, it's so moist. It's so, there's so much, it's just flowing out everywhere. The butter was that Creole butter injection, spot on, perfect to do. I will definitely be doing that a lot more. The rub I put on there by Meat Church Barbecue, man, awesome rub. And then I think just basting it with that cool little buttery herb base I put on there was really good too. With the cherry wood on there, I mean, okay, so the white meat was great. Let's get into the dark meat. Let's try this leg. Oh, look at that leg. Look at that leg. I'm going to bite into that. Oh my gosh. It's so good. It is so packed full of flavor. This is insane. I always buy a turkey leg at the fair or something like that. A smoked turkey leg. You're always disappointed. Not this one. No, this is flavoricious. Mm. 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 Do it just like this, everybody. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that. Hey, everybody, if you've gotten any value out of this content at all, please do me a huge favor. Like and subscribe to the channel. And have a very, very, very happy holiday this season. Be thankful for everything we have and everything we are going to have. It's going to be a great year coming up. Happy Kettle Kamado giving. And until next time, live a life of flavor.